નમસ્કાર, હું આદર્શ છું. વેલકમ ટુ આદર્શ એજ્યુકેશન સોસાયટી. Welcome students to 10th part of 14th chapter Water of Standard 6th Science. In the last part we discussed about what if it rains heavily. We discussed that what if it rains heavily and we come to know everything will get submerged. Let it be river, let it be land, let it be pond, let it be lake, and many problems may occur if it rains heavily. But the second question is also there. Is that what happens if it does not rain for a long period? Generally in the season of monsoon rain occurs in India. But what happens if it does not rain for a long period, that is for 2 years, 3 years? Then what will happen? Let's discuss that. So, can you imagine what would happen if it does not rain in a region for a year or more? The soil continues to lose water by evaporation and transpiration. Understand very well. The soil continues to lose water by the soil and by the evaporation and transpiration. Since it is not being brought by rain, see, whatever it is in the soil as a groundwater, it will get lost by evaporation and transpiration. Why? Because the roots of the tree will absorb the groundwater, it will come out, and we will lose it through transpiration. Okay. Since it is not being brought back by rain, the soil becomes dry. The level of water in pond and well of the region goes down, and some of them may even dry up. See, most of the water we use is from groundwater. Now, if it will not rain, then what will happen? The level of water in ponds and wells, especially in wells of that region, goes down. Some of them may even dry up. Now the situation will be that in the well there is no water. If you will go for hand pump, the water will not come out. The groundwater may also become scarce. The groundwater may also become scarce. This may lead to drought, and this situation may lead to drought. In drought conditions, it is difficult to get food and fodder. Now, the another situation happen. What is that? In drought conditions, it is difficult to get food and food. Say food for humankind, human beings, isn't it? If there is no rain, if the situation is drought condition, I can say, then the farmer will not be able to grow seeds. There will nothing in the farm, isn't it? So it is difficult to get food for humankind, and if there is nothing in the farm, then the domestic animals will not get fodder for them, isn't it? You might have heard about drought occurring in some parts of our country or a world. Or let me ask you in another way, have you ever heard about drought occurring in some parts of our country or the world? Are you aware of difficulties faced by the people living in these areas? Are you aware of the difficulties faced by the peoples living in that drought area? What happened to the animals and the vegetation of these conditions? What happens to the animals and vegetables in those areas where there is a drought conditions? Try and find out about this talking to your parents and neighbors. And by reading about it from newspapers and magazines. If you do not aware of that, then you may talk to your parents, neighbors, and read in the newspaper and magazines, so that you can come to know what it may happen if there is a drought condition in such areas of our country and or in the world. Okay, so we discussed about drought conditions. If it may not rain for 1 year or 2 years, okay, it may happen. Then what can we do? For that, I can say we should conserve water, isn't it? Why? Because water is everything. Jal hai to जीवन hai. Water is everything for us. So, it may happen that it may not rain next year. For that, we should conserve water or not. So, let's discuss how to conserve water. So, how can we conserve water? That is our next question. Let's go for that. Only a small fraction of water available on the earth is fit for use of plants, animals, and humans. That is also true. See, in fact, 2/3 of earth is in the 2/3 part of the earth there is a water, isn't it? Only 1/3 part is a land, in which only a small fraction of water available on the earth is fit for use for animals, humans, plants, everybody. Most of the water in the ocean, and it cannot be used directly. We know that most of the water is in the ocean, that is saline water. We cannot use it directly. When the level of the groundwater decreases drastically, when the level of the water in the ground decreases drastically, this cannot be used anymore. See, once the level in the water in the ground decreases drastically, means it is very deep, more than 1000 feet. It is deep at the level more than 1000 and 1500 feet. Then if you find water from the earth also, will not be able to use it directly. So this cannot be used anymore. If the water we fetch from very deep, the total amount of water on earth remains the same. We know the water cycle. That is why we can say that the total amount of water on earth remains the same, but the water available for use is very limited and is decreasing with overusage. The demand for water is increasing day by day. That is also true. The demand for water is increasing day by day. The number of people using water is increasing with rising population. As the population rises, the demand for water will increase day by day. In many cities, long queues for collection of water are a common sight. Also, more and more water is being used for producing food and by the industries. These factors are leading to shortage of water in many parts of the world. This situation may lead to shortage of water in many parts of the world. Hence, it is very important that water is used carefully. That means what? A few quantity of sweet water is there, and that is why it is very important that water is used very carefully. We should take care not to waste water. We should take care not to waste water. Now, that is one way. That is a way so that we can conserve water, isn't it? But if there are any other way to conserve water, yes, it is there, and that is what? Rainwater harvesting. Through this also we can conserve water, that to be sweet water, or we can say rainwater. Let's understand that. One way of increasing the availability of water is to collect rainwater and store it for later use. So, we should store rainwater and then after we can use it. Collecting rainwater in this way is called rainwater harvesting. Collecting rainwater in this way is called rainwater harvesting. Remember that. If you want, you may underline it. The basic idea behind rainwater harvesting is catch water where it falls. Remember, catch water where it falls. Wherever it is falls means through rain, wherever it falls, catch that water, conserve that water. What happens to the rainwater that falls in the place that are mostly covered with concrete roads and buildings? See, many areas are there which are, especially in city, which are the areas which are covered with concrete or the roads. Then it flows into drains, isn't it? It flows into drains. From there, water goes to rivers or lakes, which could be far away. See, if it goes to the river, it could go far away, and after all, the river will goes to the sea. A lot of effort will then be required to get this water. If the water goes far away, say 15 kilometers, 50 kilometers far, then a lot of efforts will then be required to get this water back into our home, as the water did not seep into the ground. If the water did not seep into the ground, did not absorb, it will not absorbed by the land, then it will go far away, and lot of efforts requires to get into our home, isn't it? Here two techniques of rainwater harvesting are discussed. Let's see first one. Rooftop rainwater harvesting. Rooftop rainwater harvesting. The rainwater falls on a rooftop, and that is the way for harvesting that rooftop water. In this system, the rainwater is collected from the rooftop to a storage tank. The rainwater is collected from the rooftop to the storage tank through pipes. This water may contain soil, the roof, and need filtering before it used. So, if we collect the water from the rooftop through the pipe, this may contain some soil, then we should filter it. Okay. Instead of collecting rainwater in the tank, the pipes can go directly into pit in the ground. This then seeps into the soil to recharge or refill the groundwater. The rooftop water directly go into the pit. Then from the pit, it will this then seeps into the ground, and the level of the groundwater will get increased. The second one. Another option is to allow water to go into the ground directly. The rainwater should go directly into the ground. From the roadside drains, they collect rainwater. So, if there is no farm, then what we should do? There should be a big drain should be there, so that water remains into the drain, and day by day it will get sipped by the land. It will go directly into the ground like that. Okay. So with this. This is the end of the water, this chapter water, and I hope you must have understood that water cycle and how the water is very much I can say useful, essential for our life. If there is no water, no life. Jal hai to jeevan hai, isn't it? So do not waste water from now onwards. And with this we are ending this part, and we'll meet you in the next part, in the next chapter. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Take care of yourselves, and we'll meet you in the next session. Thank you.